this has been a repetitive thing of mine that just has been something that I have to be really watchful and careful of, because it's easy for me to get sucked into discontentment and wanting what other people have and desiring those things. Hello, my name is Amanda and I run the blog Faith in Home. If you're new here or you're coming back, make sure that if you haven't already to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell. The notification bell, make sure that you really see it when I upload, so make sure you do both at the same time. Today we are going to be just kind of having a chit chat style video about social media, some things I've been learning with discontentment and contentment, and just some things I'm putting in place so I don't tempt myself to be desiring things constantly that I don't have. So as you can tell from the title of this video, I purged my Instagram list of people that I follow over the past week. I couldn't do it in one day because I literally had to purge so many accounts, and I didn't want my account to be marked as spam from doing that. So I had to drag it out over the course of multiple days, because I think you can only unfollow, I don't know, like 30 to 60 people a day without your account getting flagged as like spammy activity. But if you guys are wondering what accounts I unfollowed and why I unfollowed them, we're going to be talking about that and just kind of talking about contentment and discontentment, and removing any temptations from your life, because we know in the Bible it talks about if your arm or eye is tempting you to sin, it's better to literally get rid of those things than to have them and be sinning. So same kind of thought process with Instagram. I actually mentioned this. I had a baby haul video, and I mentioned that those are my absolute favorite videos to watch on YouTube right now, and I've been having to slow my roll on watching those kind of YouTube videos, because that, along with mom bloggers on Instagram, have just been making me want things constantly that I don't have and haven't been adding to my happiness. I love that kind of content. I think it's awesome to see what other mamas are getting their babies and how they're preparing for their little ones. But for me, I realized that I was over-consuming, and my over-consuming of all that was just making me want so many unnecessary things that I don't need, in certain brands and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I unfollowed like over 100 baby boutiques and mama bloggers. Nothing against them, just if the blog itself was mainly featuring baby products and clothing, or the focus was on material items and not spiritual things, then I unfollowed them. I'm still following mama bloggers and lifestyle bloggers and stuff that don't have such a big focus on materialism and consumerism. Like Sarah Therese is a good example, and people like that. But there was some people that for me, it was just making me stumble in temptation with being discontent with what I have and feeling like I needed to have these items in order to either be a good mom, to be able to take photos of my child in them, or all sorts of things like that. And I actually went through this same process twice before on my Instagram, not necessarily Faith in Home, but when I had a personal Instagram, which I no longer have, but when I did have one, I went through this process with beauty YouTubers and fashion or lifestyle bloggers that would either post a ton of super cute outfit photos or like body fitness inspiration. So I've gone through this decluttering of my Instagram feed before, because I've struggled with this for other seasons of my life for other things. This has been a repetitive thing of mine that just has been something that I have to be really watchful and careful of, because it's easy for me to get sucked into discontentment and wanting what other people have and desiring those things. If I'm not careful, I have to be really observant that I am not flooding my brain with all this stimuli and just like inspiration for things that I could potentially want, because it's something that I struggle with. And it's super important for us to be self-reflective in areas that we struggle with so we can limit temptation. So when I stopped following beauty YouTubers and these fitness people or lifestyle people, I stopped shopping as much or feeling like I needed to shop to fit in with everyone else, to be able to post a photo on social media or just any of these things. Like, I used to feel like I needed all this new makeup all the time, and that all this new makeup was gonna make me somehow more beautiful or happy or any of those kind of things, and it just never worked. I mean, I could spend a ton of money on makeup, and I did for a short period of time, but at the end of the day, none of it was really that different from the other stuff that I already had. It didn't make me feel different about myself. It didn't stop me from wanting the new stuff that was coming out. It just was not fulfilling. It was empty because I was looking for fulfillment in other areas besides God, and looking for fulfillment in any other area besides God is just not gonna last. It's going to be short term, and it's gonna be disappointing and let us down. And very shortly soon after, we are going to be looking for fulfillment in other things. But yeah, so I went through a season of makeup, and I hoarded so much makeup, literally where I haven't had to buy like any makeup besides mascara, because mascara goes bad after a few months. In my makeup collection, like all year, I basically have been living off of all the makeup that I bought like a year and a half or 2 years ago, for the past year, and I've just been getting new products as I run out of things completely. So I've gone through a ton of makeup that I had piled up, and I'm just getting rid of all the extra bulkiness. I've also just decluttered, donated a lot to friends, or have gotten rid of any that were older and not being used and all that kind of stuff. So my makeup collection is very minimalistic right now, and I'm just getting products as I run out of them. I don't need multiple foundations. I don't need multiple concealers. I really don't need more than like 1 or 2 blushes, because I end up always using the same color anyways. Same thing with eyeshadows. When I use eyeshadow, I always have certain colors that I gravitate towards, so there's no reason for me to have a ton of eyeshadow. Something I've just realized, that like, it doesn't matter if I have all this product, I'm gonna gravitate towards a few certain things, and having all this extra product isn't gonna do anything for me or make me happier with my life. It's just gonna cause clutter, and actually clutter really gives me anxiety and stresses me out, and I hate like seeing how I've wasted money. So if I'm not using products that I bought, it actually just makes me feel really guilty and bad about myself. So decluttering things that I haven't been using, that I have bought as just silly and dumb purchases in the past, decluttering those, giving them away, and just getting them out of my sight has helped me feel just like a clean slate. So anyways, now I have been struggling with baby things, because I've been so excited about our little baby boy that is coming, that I've been just watching so many newborn essential videos and newborn like clothing hauls and all that kind of stuff, which is such fun content to watch. And I want to like put that out there. I don't think anyone making any of these types of content videos is doing anything wrong. I just think when there's so many people uploading all the same kind of content with different wish lists, and everyone has different items, it can just make you feel like you need it all, especially Instagram. I feel like YouTube isn't as much of a struggle for me, because when I do watch videos, I try to watch like minimalistic ones, and so I'm not like seeing everything and just new things constantly. But Instagram, you have these mama bloggers that always have brand new outfits, completely like head to toe outfits styled with even like the cutest lounger or lounger covers or swaddle blankets or toys. And it's just really easy to get wrapped up in it, and you want that for your baby because your babies are so fun to shop for, like way more fun shopping for our little baby boy than I've ever had shopping for myself. So it's already really like easy to want to constantly be shopping for him, but then I see all these Instagram posts and it just makes me feel like I need it all, and that's really not healthy. So I have unfollowed them, and it's something that has been kind of a slow progression of buildup that I've been knowing that I needed to, but I hadn't like wanted to up until recently. But contentment has been a hot topic in our church gatherings recently. It's been, I've been reading a book on it recently, Learning Contentment. I probably will do a book review on this once I finish. I have just read the first few chapters, but it's good. Nancy Wilson is very straight to the point from the books I read of her, and it can be a little hurtful to your ego, her books, but I think that's good. I mean, you know, it points out your flesh, and so it can be a little hard to hear, but they're good books and they have good meanings, and I do think she tries to be encouraging in them. She's just super straightforward, so they're gonna be hurtful to your flesh, and sometimes I like argue with myself in my head. I'm like, well, I agree with part of this, but not exactly how she's saying it. But really, I think I'm just trying to lighten the load for my flesh. So these are great. But I've been enjoying that book. I will probably do a book review on it because it has been a good read so far. But what was I saying? Pregnancy brain, you guys, you lose track of your thoughts all the time. Yeah. Oh, I was saying it's been a theme. And then my husband had also seen how much I was scrolling through baby shops or Instagram or YouTube, and he had brought to my attention that it was a problem, and it took me like a couple weeks to accept that it was a problem. Then I realized it was, and I cleared out my Instagram feed, and it has actually been really helpful because now my Instagram feed is more encouragement, biblical encouragement in scriptures and uplifting things and people I know. So I'm not just scrolling through Instagram and seeing items that I want to buy and purchase and then get caught up on clothing websites or baby websites, searching through and creating like wish list all day. And it's actually helped make my days more productive because I'm not getting caught up on social media as much. And that's kind of been one of my personal goals for this year, is to really be intentional with how I'm spending my time. And so when I've been waking up in the morning, not only have I been doing Bible time, if I find myself reaching for my phone and scrolling, I have been trying to do my best at being intentional, placing it down, and picking up a book and reading a book. So at nighttime or morning time, that's what I've been trying to do instead of scrolling through social media, because social media can just be kind of a time warp, and you get sucked in and then you waste so much time throughout your day on social media. And I have been way more productive just reading a little bit. Kind of wakes me up or gets me ready for bed, and then I can move on to doing something productive afterwards. So if I'm feeling like I kind of just want to be a little bit lazy, not quite get up and do any chores yet, or if I'm trying to settle down for sleep, reading a book has been great. Once I'm done reading it, I can get up and motivate myself to go start doing my chores, or I can go to bed if it's nighttime. But then I'm doing something productive that's actually like helping me and making me reflect on myself or other things, or just using my imagination and mind more, instead of just going on social media and scrolling and desiring things that I don't have and tempting myself to be discontent. So that is why I have purged my Instagram feed. I would highly encourage you guys, if there's anything on your Instagram feed that's making you struggle with discontentment and just not being happy with what you already have, then remove it from your Instagram feed. If you know the person personally and you don't want to unfollow them, you can mute their posts so you don't see their post all the time. I have done that before when it's someone I know. Or if you don't know the person, you can just also get rid of it. But yeah, it's super helpful. You don't want to be tempting yourself with being discontent, because being discontent is just going to make us all not happy. We should try to be as happy with all that we have already, because God has already given us more than we deserve. And that is just the cold hard truth. We all have more than we deserve because He has offered us grace and salvation. So to be discontent is basically saying, hey, God, you haven't done enough for me, and I have the right to feel discontent. But we don't really have the right to feel discontent. It's okay to desire to grow and to achieve more things, but we also just need to be content with where we are at the moment. And if those things never did happen, be okay with it, and try to get to that space, which is a really hard space to get to. This whole video has been about how I have constantly had a struggle throughout each new season of my life of focusing on something that I don't have. But it's just so important to set our eyes towards God, what we already have through Him, and just focusing on relationship with Him, and reading the Bible and everything is really just going to help wash us with the Word and the truth, and remember the things that really matter. Whatever we gain here in the world, we don't get to take with us. So, I mean, worldly possessions at the end of the day are never going to fulfill us. They're never going to be something that is eternal. So we might as well try to set our sight on eternal things, because that's what is going to bless us now and into the future when we go to heaven. So I hope this video was encouraging. I just wanted to, I guess, kind of tell you guys what I've been struggling with, how I'm getting rid of that struggle and trying to break that temptation out of my life. And I encourage you guys to do the same. If you're struggling with something, if someone that you're subscribed to, following, etc., is making you desire things that you don't have, then cut that temptation out of your life. And also pray for your heart to just be content with what you have. That's definitely something that I do. And I also, in my prayer journal, write all the things I'm thankful for every day. So I try to really center my heart around having a thankful heart, but also incorporating in your prayer life for God to help just make you realize everything you have, and to help soften your heart to have a content heart that realizes just the weight and awesomeness of everything that God has already given us are really good things that you can be praying for yourself, and I will be praying for myself to have as well, because it is true that God has already given us more than we deserve. And if we really wash ourselves with the Word, it's silly to think that we care about things that aren't going to last us or aren't going to fulfill us, and things that we're going to forget about in a couple of years, or just things that aren't going to do us any good in the end. But we get so caught up desiring them and wanting them, at least I do. So I am cutting that temptation out of my life, and I'm sure that within the next seasons of life there are going to be other areas that I get tempted, and I'm going to have to cut those out, because I think it's a constant battle to be content. But being content is something that we can learn in life through trials and different situations. Paul talks about how he has had plenty, he has had little, and he has learned how to be content with it all. That's in Philippians 4:12, and he says, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger and abundance in need. That's just some encouragement for you guys, that through Christ we can learn to be content whether we have abundance or we are in need, whether we have plenty or we're hungry, we can learn to be content with Christ who strengthens us. So I hope this video encourages you guys. Make sure to limit your temptation in any area of your life that you're struggling with sin or just being tempted by sin. Try to limit that temptation and cut it out of your life so you don't stumble and fall into it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.